North Ridge Station clung to the Karsk ice shelf like a welded scar, half buried in snow and noise. The wind never stopped. It scraped at antenna masts, howled through service gantries, and made the warning flags snap like whips. People said you could tell who'd been stationed here too long because they stopped flinching when the world screamed. Jalen or still flinched sometimes, not from the wind but from the memory of warm places. He wore the grey armband of contract redemption, XL disguised as work, and spent his nights outside the perimeter maintaining thermal vents that kept North Ridge from freezing into a tomb. The pay went to pay off his debt. The debt came from one punch on a dock world. He'd hit an officer who tried to jettison a container of sick refugees back into deep space. The punch had been worth it. The ice shelf was the price. On the night everything changed, Jalen was alone on the far line, crouched at Vent 7 with snow beating his helmet like thrown sand. His visor showed a seal failure, temperature dropping fast. He tightened clamps with numb fingers, cursing softly until the warning shifted from orange to yellow. Then he heard a sound that didn't belong to the storm. "Please, I'm freezing." Jalen straightened so fast his back popped. The voice was thin, broken, almost swallowed by the gale. Nobody was out here without a suit. Nobody survived 10 minutes without shelter. He flipped on thermal overlay. White chaos, vent heat, and faint moving, an ember of body warmth beyond the marked path near a section labelled unstable. "North Ridge, this is ore," he said into comms. "I'm picking up a biosignature beyond the line. Is this a drill?" Static, then the operator's voice. "No drills, return to station, do not leave the marked path." A second voice cut in colder. "Or this is Security Chief Hasker, confirm you have visual." "I have something," Jalen said, watching the weak heat stumble. "Human-sized." "Do not approach," Hasker ordered. "Back to station, that's an order." Jalen stared at the flicker as it dropped to its knees in the snow. Rules were easy when they didn't have a face. Protocol was clean until someone begged. "Please," the voice came again, closer now, and it didn't sound rehearsed. It sounded like the last word a person said before darkness. Jalen swore and ran. Snow tried to erase him. The shelf trembled underfoot. He followed the thermal flicker down a shallow dip, around an ice ridge, and found her half collapsed beside a pressure crack. She wasn't wearing a suit. No helmet, no layers, just a thin dark cloak stiff with frost. Her hair was iced into strands. Her skin was pale blue in the storm light, not just cold but wrong cold, like moonlit stone. Her eyes were wide and reflective, the colour of winter sunlight. "I can't feel in my hands," she whispered. Jalen yanked free his emergency thermal wrap and crouched. "Hey, stay with me, can you stand?" She tried, her legs buckled. She would have pitched into the crack if he hadn't grabbed her arm. The moment his glove closed around her, his suit sensors chimed in confused protest. A shock of deep cold surged through his wrist, cold that felt older than weather. Not painful but absolute, like touching the inside of a glacier that had never seen daylight. Her gaze snapped to his hand. "Warm," she breathed, and there was hunger in the word. Jalen forced the foil blanket around her shoulders and pulled her against his suit's heat plates. "Yeah, warm, that's the plan." The crack beneath them groaned. A gust slammed into Jalen's back. The shelf shifted, and the pressure crack widened with a brutal snapping sound. Jalen saw ice crumble under his boots. Instinct took over. He wrapped an arm around her waist and threw his weight toward the ridge, trying to get both of them back to the safe markers. The ridge collapsed. They dropped. For a heartbeat there was only falling and white. Then they hit a slope of packed snow and slid hard into darkness. Jalen slammed shoulder first into ice. His visor blinked black, rebooted and lit up with red errors. GPS lost. Comms lost. Beacon failure. They had fallen into a hollow beneath the shelf. The storm's roar became a muffled growl overhead. Drips tapped from the ceiling. The air tasted metallic, like electricity trapped in stone. The girl lay half on Jalen's chest, shaking so violently her teeth clicked. He wrapped the blanket tighter around them both and tried his comm again. "North Ridge, respond." "Only static." Jalen's stomach sank. Undershelf caverns were death traps. No signal, no locator, no easy route out. He shifted to sit her up. She resisted, fingers digging into his suit like hooks. "You pulled me down," she whispered. "Accident," Jalen grunted. "Not ideal." Her grip tightened. "Down is safe." Jalen scanned the cavern with his suit light. Ice walls glittered with trapped bubbles. Crystal seams ran through the floor, pulsing with a faint blue glow that didn't match any mineral he knew. When the beam swept across them, the glow brightened, like it had noticed. "What is this place?" Jalen muttered. The girl pressed her forehead to his chest, deep. "That's helpful." She lifted her head, and in the dim blue light he saw faint veins of luminescence beneath her skin, tracing like rivers under ice. "They kept me up there," she said, voice hoarse, "in metal rooms." Jalen went still, the station. A small nod, iron voices, they fear the deep, they drilled, they took warmth. Jalen's throat tightened. North Ridge's vents pulled geothermal heat from below to keep the station alive. Everyone assumed it was harmless. The classified readouts, the sealed labs, the guards who never talked about their night shifts, Jalen had chalked it up to Federation paranoia. Now he looked at the girl and the glowing crystal seams and felt sick. "You're not human," he said quietly. She flinched like he'd thrown a stone. "I'm not a monster." Jalen held her gaze. "I don't care what you are, you were freezing." Her shoulders loosened a fraction. "Warmth is rare," she whispered. "Warmth is bond." Jalen didn't like the way she said bond, like law not choice. "Listen," he said, trying to keep his tone gentle. "We're both stuck. We need to move, find a way out, then deal with the iron voices." A dull thud vibrated through the cavern's ceiling. Jalen froze. Another thud followed, closer, boot impacts on ice. The girl's eyes sharpened. They found the crack. Jalen's pulse spiked. "How many?" "Enough," she said. Harsh voices echoed above, muffled by ice. "Search the cavity, she can't have gone far." Jalen cursed. They weren't searching for him, they were searching for her. He forced himself upright, dragging her with him. She immediately wrapped both arms around his torso, clinging so tight he felt her shaking through the blanket. "I'm not letting go," she said. "Fine," Jalen snapped, then softened. "But if we move, you have to move with me." She nodded, eyes locked on him like he was a lantern in a storm. They found a narrow passage leading deeper, lined with ice spikes like teeth. Jalen squeezed through, gidding her, ignoring the way the crystals pulsed brighter as they passed. The deeper they went, the stronger the hum became, like a heartbeat in stone. The passage opened into a chamber where blue crystal veins blazed like frozen lightning. In the center lay a pool of glassy ice that moved like slow liquid. Beneath its surface, shadows swirled, forming and unforming as if the ice remembered other shapes. The girl breathed out, relief and longing tangled together. "Door." "Door to where?" Jalen asked, keeping his voice low. "Home," she said. "They cannot follow." Jalen stared at the moving surface. It looked like a trap. It looked like drowning in winter. Boots clanged behind them. A beam of harsh white light stabbed into the passage. "There, halt." Security guards spilled into the chamber, rifles raised. Their armor looked black in the blue glow. At their front stood Hasker, broad-shouldered, visor reflecting the crystals. Hasker barked, "Step away from the specimen." Specimen, the word hit Jalen harder than the cold ever had. He shifted so his body blocked the girl. "She's not a specimen." Hasker's rifle tracked him. "She is classified property of the Federation. You are indentured. Obey or you will be terminated." The guards behind Hasker hesitated, but not enough. One raised a restraint collar, its metal teeth open like a jaw. The girl trembled against Jalen. Frost crept across the floor from her bare feet, thin and fast. Jalen lifted his hands slowly. "You're going to drag her back to a box because she's useful." Hasker's voice stayed flat. "Because she is dangerous, because she is not human, because she is ours." Jalen laughed once, bitter. "That's what they said about the refugees too." Hasker's finger tightened on the trigger. Final warning. Jalen felt the girl's cold surge, a building storm. If she unleashed it, it might kill everyone in the room, including him. He tightened his arms around her, anchoring her against his suit heat. "Hey," he whispered, barely moving his lips. "Look at me, not them." Her eyes snapped to his. The luminescent veins under her skin flared, then steadied, like a storm hearing its name. Jalen turned back to Hasker. "No," he said, voice calm in a way that surprised him. "You don't get to own living things." Hasker fired. The shot didn't reach him. The girl moved first, still clinging to Jalen, and yanked him down so hard his knees hit the ice. At the same instant, a wave of cold exploded outward, a ring of frost that raced across the chamber like a thrown net. The bullet struck the air and shattered into glittering ice fragments. Guards shouted, boots locked in place as ice seized their soles. Rifle mechanisms snapped and jammed, lights flickered, sputtered and died. In the sudden, indefinitely blue glow, the pool's surface brightened, rippling faster, as if responding to her panic. Hasker swore and tried to move, his armored joints froze with a crackle. Containment now. But nobody could. Jalen's suit alarms screamed about temperature gradients and battery drain. He could feel warmth leaching from him into her, not as theft now, but as desperation. She was trying to stay free, and freedom cost energy. "We go," Jalen rasped. "I won't let go," she whispered fiercely. "Good," Jalen said. He stood with effort, hauling her up, then sprinted toward the pool. Each step left a layer of frost behind them. Hasker's voice chased them, furious and afraid. "Or, if you cross that boundary, you will be hunted." Jalen didn't look back. "I already am," he muttered. He hit the pool's edge and hesitated for half a heartbeat. The surface reflected his helmet and her glowing veins, like two ghosts caught in ice. "Do not let go," she said again. "I won't," Jalen promised and stepped in. Cold swallowed him whole. Not the cold of air, the cold of distance. His vision went white, then blue, then black, shot with stars. His suit screamed, then fell silent, as if even electronics forgot how to speak. He felt her against him, tighter than skin, a presence holding his molecules together. Then the cold broke. They tumbled onto powder snow that sparkled like crushed crystal. Jalen rolled, gasping, and cracked his helmet seal to breathe. Air rushed in, thin, sharp, impossibly clean. It smelled like stone after lightning. He looked up. They stood in a cavern so vast it could have held a sky. Crystal constellations glittered overhead. Rivers of light ran through rock like veins in a living body. The hum here wasn't threatening. It was steady, familiar, like a heartbeat returning to its own chest. Behind them, the pool hardened into a solid wall of ice. The chamber beyond went dark. No guards followed. The girl straightened beside him. She looked taller, stronger, as if the cavern fed her. The luminescent veins under her skin glowed with quiet certainty now, not panic. Frost drifted from her hair like ash from a gentle fire. She inhaled and the cavern answered, crystals pulsing, light flowing, snow lifting in a soft spiral. "Home," she whispered. Jalen sagged to his knees, exhausted. His battery was low, his shoulder burned, but he was alive. She knelt too and touched his cheek with bare fingers. Warmth spread through him, slow and careful, like someone placing a blanket over a shivering animal. For the first time since he'd met her, the warmth wasn't his. "You can give heat," he murmured. "I can share," she said. "You gave first." Jalen swallowed. "What's your name?" She hesitated, then the cavern lights flickered, like the mountain considering. "Ilsa," she said at last, and the sound felt old and true. "Ilsa," Jalen repeated. Her arms wrapped around him again, tighter than before, not frantic, determined. "Now you won't leave." Jalen let out a shaky laugh. "I can't exactly stroll back to the station." "Back is chains," Ilsa said, eyes hardening. "They will drill again, they will bring more iron voices." Jalen stared at the glowing veins in stone, the living warmth under all that ice, and felt rage rise clean and sharp. "Then we stop them," he said. Ilsa tilted her head, studying him. Human alone cannot stop iron. Jalen thought of the dock officer, of the refugees' faces, of protocol used like a weapon. He thought of Hasker saying ours. "Humans are good at breaking things that shouldn't exist," he said, "and you're not alone anymore." Ilsa's gaze softened and something like relief moved through her. "Warmth is bond," she whispered, but now it sounded like choice, not law. "You pulled me down, you kept me breathing, I will keep you." Jalen took a slow breath, feeling her warmth settle into him like an ember. "Okay," he said, "but we do this my way, no slaughter, no becoming what they fear." Ilsa's eyes flashed. "They deserve fear." "They do," Jalen agreed, "but they deserve to learn too." A low rumble rolled through the cavern, like stone laughter. Snow spiraled around them in a slow dance. Far above, North Ridge Station would be screaming with alarms, filing reports demanding reinforcements, calling this a breach, a hostile anomaly, a threat. Down here in the living bones of the ice shelf, a girl made of winter held onto the human who refused to let her die. Please, she murmured again, the old words transformed into a vow. Don't leave. Jalen looked up at the crystal constellations and felt the weight of what they'd just begun. I'm not going anywhere, he said, not until you're free. The words had barely left his mouth when the cavern answered with a tremor, not the gentle pulse of the crystals, but a hard vibration that shook powder snow from ledges. Jalen stiffened. That isn't you. Ilsa's pupils narrowed. Iron, she whispered, they wake the teeth. She placed her palm on the ground. The blue rivers in the rock brightened, then shifted, flowing like liquid thoughts. Images spilled into Jalen's mind. North Ridge's drill tower, floodlights cutting through the blizzard, heated suits anchoring cables into the ice. Hasker stood at the controls while technicians rolled out a long black device, like a spear meant for glaciers. He's going to burn a shaft down to you, Jalen said, voice tightening. He'll cook this pocket. Ilsa's expression went distant, listening to stone. Heat like knives, she murmured. It will make me sleep again. And if you sleep, they chain you. She nodded. They will take my name. Jalen forced himself to think, not panic. Is there a way up? Ilsa pointed and crystals brightened along a slanting corridor. Old river, she said. It climbs to the vents. They ran warm pipes through my ribs. I can follow them. Jalen swallowed. The vents, he knew those tunnels. Can you fit? Not all of me, Ilsa said. She tapped his chest. Your warmth holds my shape. Without you I spread, I become storm. So the tether was real, not romance, physics. Okay, Jalen said. We go up through the vent spine, reach the station's lower ring and shut that lance down. Another tremor rolled through the rock, stronger. Somewhere far above, metal bit into ice. Jalen held out his hand. Ilsa took it instantly, fingers lacing with his like she'd been taught the gesture by the cave itself. Stay close, she said. If that heat touches my heart, everything above will crack, the station will fall into the sea. Jalen's stomach dropped. You can do that. I don't want to, Ilsa whispered, but pain makes storms. You taught me another way. Jalen squeezed her hand. Then we don't let it touch you. They ran into the glowing corridor, the crystals lighting ahead like gidding stars while the cavern behind them dimmed, as if holding its breath. Above, the Federation dug a knife toward a living heart. Below, a convict and a winterborn girl raced the heat, bound together by one stubborn act of mercy. The climb was steep and slick. Metal ribs began to appear in the ice, old maintenance piping, half swallowed by crystal growth. Warm vapor hissed through cracks, fogging Jalen's visor, and his suit battery dipped into the red. Ilsa pressed against him, drawing strength from his heat while feeding him hers in brief pulses so he wouldn't collapse. Ahead, the tunnel narrowed into a grated service hatch. Through it, Jalen heard alarms and shouted orders. The station was already panicking at the breach. He set his palm on the latch, then paused as Ilsa's arms locked around him. Please, I'm freezing, she echoed, but now it was a warning. If you go alone, I fade. Jalen nodded once. Then I don't go alone. Below, the crystals dimmed, waiting on their choice. Together, they pushed upward into the light.